What's up guys, Lukewarm Reviews here. I am Luke. This is going to be my last 2017 movies video. I know I've been a little bit slow recently. I made like my Black Panther video, it was super short, but I wanted to start getting them out more and just like not spending as much time as I am editing, because I feel like this has made me get less videos out. So I figure I'll spend more time on the videos that are longer and have more to them, and my movie reviews, the single ones, I'll just kind of keep cranking out like that. But we're finally here, guys. The Oscars are this weekend. I'm excited. I've made my own list here, different from the Oscars categories because I don't really know anything about a lot of those, like sound editing and mixing and just editing itself and things like that. I don't fully understand enough to be able to judge films on them. So what I've done is made up a bunch of my own categories. I've done this for the past like 2 or 3 years, but I think it's kind of fun. We'll go through them. This is going to be spoiler free once again, so share with everyone. Anyone can watch, and let's look back fondly on 2017 and the best stuff that we saw this year. So to begin with, I have a couple here that you guys will already know if you've seen my last videos, and if you have not, go watch those. I have my top 20 films video and my best performances video. But starting obviously with my favorite film that I saw in 2017 was Call Me By Your Name. My favorite lead actor was Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name. My favorite lead actress was Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. My favorite supporting actor was Gil Birmingham for Wind River. And my favorite supporting actress was Elizabeth Moss for The Square. Once again, I've discussed all those in great detail in past videos already. Go check those out. So now on to some more fun new stuff. So the best ensemble cast that I saw this year, I actually had a little trouble with this one. There weren't a lot of great ensemble casts this year, which is fine. Some years there just aren't. There were a lot of really awesome lead performances. But the one that I ended up landing on was 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Also, I want to just address real quick, reading criticism for this in the past couple of weeks. People are really starting to hate on this movie after it won the Golden Globe, I guess. And there is some totally valid criticisms of it, but I have a video on it. Go watch it. I like this movie a lot. I think it's good. But yeah, the ensemble cast here is really, really great. Frances McDormand obviously helms the project pretty significantly, but Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell are great. John Hawkes is a favorite of mine. Peter Dinklage is in it. Lucas Hedges also. He had a really good year. He was really good in this and also in Lady Bird. He didn't really make it onto my actors list, but he's a very cool actor that I'm keeping my eyes on. So yeah, just a bunch of really cool people in this and really good work being done all around, specifically in the acting. Moving on, my next category, this is going to be the best individual scene that I saw in 2017. These are going to be a little difficult to describe without giving away spoilers, but I have a tie here. I have a tie with the father-son closing monologue from Call Me By Your Name. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Michael Stuhlbarg's performance here alongside Timothée Chalamet just ripped my heart out, and I can't stop thinking about it. Just the best little bit of acting I've seen in quite some time. Really, really great. But I also cannot forget the mother-daughter feeding scene in To the Bone. And if you've seen that one, you know what I'm talking about. Once again, I love To the Bone. Lots of people don't. If you want to know why I love it, go watch my top 20 video. I describe it in great detail. But this scene was another one that just rent me in twain. I got really emotional. The acting is what really pulled it off, and that is something that these two scenes have in common. They're really great culminations of good scripts, but ultimately they're brought to life by the acting therein, and I couldn't choose between the two. So those are my favorite scenes of the year. Moving on, next, Best Director. I feel like sort of qualified to talk about this. I don't know as much about this as I do like acting, for example, because I'm an actor, obviously, but I decided to go with Luca Guadagnino for Call Me By Your Name. I hope that's right. I haven't really heard it said often. But yeah, the way that the camera works in this movie is very intimate, and is one of the main reasons that it works so well. So definitely Call Me By Your Name. Moving on, cinematography. This one was a no-brainer for me. It has to go to Blade Runner 2049 by the masterful Roger Deakins. Deakins has been one of my favorite cinematographers for years. He has never won an Oscar. I think he's been nominated 14 times, maybe 15. But I really want him to win this year. And I kind of think he's going to. I'm going to knock on wood, but like, I really want him to win because this movie is bananas. It looks so good. All the different kinds of colors and compositions that he has going on. It's so textured and fantastic. So that one was easy for me. Best cinematography for Roger Deakins. Best script. This one was also a no-brainer. This has got to be Jordan Peele for Get Out. Call Me By Your Name is like adapted and it's done really well, but also I found that that movie was not necessarily about the script, about the words. It was more of a feelings movie. But Get Out is just so tight and crisp and acerbic and so well written. It's really fantastic. I gotta see Get Out again because now that I'm doing these videos and like talking about how awesome it is, I want to go watch it again. So that's best script. Best production design, this was kind of a no-brainer as well for me. Had to go to Paul D. Austerberry for The Shape of Water. I liked this movie so much, and one of the best things about it was the world in which it exists. Obviously, it's magical realism, so there's something just a little bit off-kilter to it, and that makes it kind of timeless. I think it's set in the 50s or something, but the way that it's designed, it could be in any of the first 5 decades of the 20th century. It could be in the 20s, it could be like, and so there's a certain timelessness and whimsy to the design that I found really amazing. Best production design, Shape of Water. Moving on, best original score, I decided also to go with The Shape of Water. Alexandre Desplat, I think that's how you pronounce it. This was a really tough one. I said this in my actors video, but when I think about 2017 on a whole, the things that stick out to me are performances by lead actresses and music. Just incredible scores all over the place this year. Phantom Thread, Shape of Water, obviously. Just like, there was so much, it was really hard to choose. Blade Runner had a great score, but this one was the one that I felt was most influential on the actual film. In The Shape of Water, the music is like a character that plays along with everyone else and what's happening, and I felt like it really influenced the film. So, best score. Moving on, I have a couple of fun categories in here. This one, the best newcomer actor. This is a category I just made up, you know. There's not like rules to this, it's just kind of, if they have less than like 10 credits on their IMDb, then I count them as new. I know these people have been in things before, but this is just what it works for me. So my best newcomer actor this year is going to be Algie Smith for Detroit. This guy's been in a couple of things, but this is definitely a breakout performance for him. As I said in my actors video, I wasn't nuts about Detroit, but Algie Smith is super, super good. He's very sensitive and vulnerable and emotional, and it works tremendously well in this type of film. Best newcomer actress, I decided to go with Desiree Akhavan, I hope that's correct, from Creep 2. I was watching my my actors video back the other day, and I sort of regret leaving her off the list because she's really, really good, and she's responsible for a lot of the reasons that Creep 2 is successful. We get to see a lot of really sensitive reaction shots of her just listening to Mark Duplass's character be nuts, and she pulls it off. She's fantastic, and she's been like, she was on Girls, and she's been in a couple of things, but again, I make the rules, so she's a newcomer in my book. Desiree Akhavan, I hope that's right. And newcomer director, obviously, this one had to be Jordan Peele. He knocked it out of the park with Get Out. He set a bunch of records, he made an amazing movie, he's never directed before, and it was incredible. That one was a no-brainer for me. Moving on, my favorite blockbuster of the year. This is another one that like the definitions are a little bit like hazy here, but I decided to go with Coco because I think Disney movies count as blockbusters, and Coco was my third favorite film of the year. It was really incredible, so that was obvious as well. Guilty pleasure. This was one I had trouble with this year. I didn't really have any like guilty pleasures. Usually there are some like trash movies that I really kind of enjoy, but I didn't see a lot of trash movies this year, so I decided, I guess, to just go with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but I have so much fun in those movies. I think Chris Pratt is hilarious, and I think it's really good. So I guess my guilty pleasures, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Couple more. Most underrated. This one I have another tie for. These are the movies that I felt got overlooked the most and or hated on the most for no reason. I have a tie between Atomic Blonde, because I feel like just across the board, people didn't give this movie enough credit. Everyone was just like, oh, it's an action movie. And like, it got well reviewed. It was like, oh, it's a good action movie. But it was like more than that to me. It was so good. It was really, really good. Really cool to look at. I feel like nobody gave that movie its due. And it's going to be tied with To the Bone. Surprise. Lots of people really hate this movie, and I sort of understand why, but at the same time, go back, watch my top 20 video, and hear me explain why I think To the Bone is great, because I do. It's great. Moving on, just a couple more. Most overrated. I had a couple here. There were a good number of movies this year that I felt got overrated. Baby Driver, obviously I have a video about that. Didn't like that movie too much. Oakjaw, I didn't like very much. Ghost Story, I didn't like very much. But there's one that really sticks out, and it's got to be It Comes at Night. Lots of people love this movie. I thought it was insufferably boring. And the best way to explain why is I actually watched this movie and then just forgot about it immediately. I forgot to write a review. I forgot to do anything until like 2 weeks later. When my fiance and I were just looking around for movies to watch on Amazon, and I stumbled across it. I was like, oh, we watched that, didn't we? Totally forgot. Never wrote a review. Never did anything, because it is of no consequence. It's so boring. The only good thing about it is Riley Keough. And I guess all the performances are fine. I don't want to hate on the actors, they're fine. But ultimately, the movie just absolutely did not work for me. And I know it's supposed to be one of those horror movies where they're like, oh, it's about what you don't see. And it's like, okay, but it was still boring as shit. So that's that one. I'm ready to receive some hate for that. Bring it on. And last one here, the worst movie I saw of 2017, Kong Skull Island. Super disappointed by this because I love monster movies, particularly kaiju stuff like King Kong and Godzilla, and this movie was just so bad. It was just so poorly written. The plot was paper thin nonsense. So many good actors that were not put to use at all. The acting was not even good. Yeah, just a complete mess. And again, like, was it the worst movie I've ever seen? No. I didn't see a lot of really terrible movies this year. Kong was like pretty bad, but it wasn't god awful. It was just the worst movie I saw in 2017. I usually do like worst actor and worst actress as well, but I don't know. I don't feel like hating on anybody this year, and I really didn't see any performances that were like terrible that I feel like deserve to be hated on in that way. So I'm gonna leave that one off. And that's it. That's what I thought of the year, guys. Those are some fun little categories that I had. If you like this like template, you know what? Make your own. Throw it at me down in the comments. Tell me about what you thought of 2017. Check out the Oscars this weekend. Let me know if you guys want me to do like a Oscars recap or reaction or anything like that. I probably won't, but I'll be watching. That's it for me for now, guys. I'm going to try and be back with more soon. And upload more consistently. So subscribe, share with your friends, tell me what you think. Thanks, as always, you guys are the best. See you soon.